Hey, hello, and welcome to the show. It's me, JP, and it is time for JP's product pick of the week. And I have an accidental hint there as to what we're going to be dealing with. Let me just pretend that didn't happen. Thank you for joining. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you to everyone over in the various live streams that we've got. We've got the YouTube and LinkedIn and Twitch and Facebook and several others. If you're in one of those places and you're wondering where the chat is, the best place to go is to our Discord server, and that's at adafruit.it/discord. Look for the live broadcast chat channel. You'll see it right there. We have a whole bunch of channels, but live broadcast chats where people tend to hang out during the show. And speaking of which, hello to C. Grover and Jim Hendrickson, Thin Man, DK, Dan Coliano. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. And then we also have a YouTube chat that I do keep a bit of an eye on. Hey there, Peter Huseman3956. Welcome. Thanks for joining in. And that'll do it with introductions. So I've got a new product pick for you this week. If you want to, head on over to the product page. It's product ID 1438. The best way to get there is adafruit.it/1438. That's our URL shortener, or adafruit.com product 1438. You can also use that QR code there if you have a boop, boop, beep camera kind of thing. So head on over there. You will find that this show is broadcast from inside that page, and you can get this week's product pick for 50% off. You don't need a coupon code or anything like that. We just simply have it on sale, marked down, and that price is good through the end of the show, and then the price will go back up. We have 100 in stock, so we stashed 100 of them before the show and sold a couple already, so those are there waiting for you to go check out. Before I say any more, I will, as is customary on this show, have Lady Ada tell us a little bit about it, so take it away, Lady Ada.
Hey everybody, it's me, Lady Ada the engineer, to show off the Adafruit Motor Shield. Best way to control DC motors, servos, and steppers on my favorite microcontroller, the Arduino. Why is this so great? Well, we spent years researching motor controllers to create the most flexible motor shield available for Arduino. At the heart of the Adafruit Motor Shield is this PWM driver, which handles all the electronic speed control, letting your Arduino manage inputs, outputs, and sensors. We paired this with two great motor drivers. Each driver can do 2 channels of 1.2 amp up to 3 amp peak at 12 volts. That means it can handle pretty much any kind of stepper or DC motor, no problem. We've got big filter capacitors, so you don't have to worry about noise feeding back into your circuit. For battery power, there's a terminal block that allows you to connect an external battery pack with polarity protection. There's also a prototyping area and 2 servo connections. To connect motors, check out these great terminal blocks. It's easy to screw down to connect and disconnect whenever you need. Hey, it's a motor party. Each Adafruit motor shield has 2 motor control ports. Each port can control either 2 brushed DC motors or a single unipolar or bipolar stepper. There's also connections for 2 hobby DC servos. Does your project need even more steppers? Not a problem. With this design, you can stack shields. Each shield adds another 2 motor ports. Building your next robotics project is a dream thanks to the Adafruit Learning System, where we've got libraries, examples, tutorials, wiring diagrams, everything you need to get your robot rocking. The Adafruit Motor Shield is manufactured here at the Adafruit factory. Each order is designed, tested, packaged, and shipped out of our downtown Manhattan warehouse. Create your next robotic dream with the Adafruit Motor Shield, available in the Adafruit shop.
We have an update to the motor shield. It's a very small update. Basically, I added a VIO register, VIO selection jumper. So if you're using it with 3 volt or 5 volt Arduino compatibles, it'll work. The logic level for the I2C will work either way, which I think people like. Otherwise, for 99% of people, you're not going to notice a difference. Also updated the silk screen. So this is now back in stock.
Yes, indeed it is. And let me bring up my image because I only have one and it's in a demo, so I can't hold it up as I customarily do, but here we go. That right there is the product pick of the week this week. It is the Adafruit Motor Shield V3. This is for DC motors stepper motors, and servos. And it is Arduino form factor, Arduino Uno form factor, which means you can put it on a whole bunch of different Arduino boards. You can put it on the Metro boards, on Grand Central. They all have that same distinct pinout. And it communicates over I2C with any of those boards. And then you can control motors, servos, steppers using CircuitPython, using Arduino. And it will give you the option to do 4 DC motors at once. So we have those M1, M2, M3, M4 ports there. Or you can use them for unipolar or bipolar steppers, in which case you'll be using either 4 or 5 of the pins on either side. So you could do 2 of those at once. And then we also have a couple of little breakouts there for standard hobby servos, which run off of a couple of PWM pins there. As you can see, there are doubled rows, so you'll add the header pins. One of the nice things is this now comes soldered up, ready to go, other than the header pins, because you might want to use stacking headers. But all of the servo connections and all of the terminal blocks, screw terminal blocks, are populated on there. So there's a lot less soldering than there was originally in the old days. This is also, it gives you doubled up rows for those solder pins, so you can still tap into those points. And you can see we have a little proto area in the middle there where you can add a small circuit of some kind or connectors. So let's first of all head over to the product page. Bring that up here. Where'd you go? There is $9.98 right now, just during the show. And throw some in your cart. I'm going to refresh that just to see how many we've got in stock. 96 of them in stock, so you can get up to 10 of them per customer. No resellers allowed. And since this is I2C and we have a whole bunch of address selector pads on it, you can gang up a bunch of these depending on your needs. Now, you could stack them in a crazy, huge, wild stack, or you can just solder the important pins, I2C power ground, among them. So this, as you can see here, gives us a little indication about the different motors that you can connect to it. Also, I'll mention this is by default set up for separate logic and motor power, which is good. It prevents things like little brownouts and sags of the logic. So you'll generally feed your board with its USB connection or its own barrel connector in the case of Arduino boards and Metro boards. And then you'll have the 2 terminal blocks on the top. Let me bring up a picture here for a second. Where did you go? Product photos. There you are. So you can see there on the bottom of the board there. Actually, this picture I have up is a little better. Bottom of the board right there, we have these terminal blocks, and you can screw in a couple of wires or an adapter for a DC barrel plug. And there you can plug in anywhere from 5 to 12 volts for your motors. And there you're just going to want to pair that up with what kind of voltage your motors want. A lot of them we have are 5 volt or 6 volt motors. So you can use, in my case, I'm using a 4 AA battery pack, which is pretty convenient. But just depending on your needs there, you can give it different voltage. This now has polarity protection, so you don't have to worry that you're going to blow things up if you guess wrong on wiring. It's good to know your wiring before going in, so test that with a multimeter, but it's not going to be a disaster. And above that power port is a little jumper pin, pair of pins, and it comes with a little jumper, a little one of these right here. Can I show that? Yeah, a little one of these that allows you to either leave it off and you're going to use the 3 volt logic, or you can switch over to 5 volt logic. Let's see what else. If you head over to, go back to this page here, if you scroll down a little bit, you will get to a link to learn guides. So we have a primary learn guide. It says Motor Shield V2, but this all applies to the V3 as well. V3 is a minor update, as well as some projects using this. So if we head over to the main Learn Guide, you can see there's a nice example image with a couple of DC motors on one side, a bipolar stepper on the other, and a couple of servos connected up. And then there's setup here for installing your hardware, setting up for Arduino, or using CircuitPython, Python with this, and some examples for different motors that you'll drive with it. So I've put together a little demo here. Let me go to the down shooter. So there you can see I've got my motor shield, and then on one side I've got a stepper motor. This is one of these little sort of automotive gauge steppers. I have a couple of servo motors over here, and then I have a DC motor with a, take this off for a second, a little DC motor that is the type you find in a DVD or CD player. And I'm going to go ahead and power on my battery pack, and then just I'll hit reset on the shield. The shield has a little reset button there. Okay, and we'll see it do a little startup routine here with my, move this while it's inactive. There we go. So we're just going through a little series, little demo series of motors spinning on and off. One of the nice things is that you have 8-bit resolution speed control on the DC motors, so you can give them varying speeds, and it's bidirectional. So we have H-bridge drivers, allows you to spin the DC motor, let's call it forward in this case, and then we'll put the brakes on, wait a moment, and then spin that backwards. It goes the other way. So you have a lot of control over the DC motors. And then I'm just using normal PWM servo stuff here on these servos. And with stepper, in this case, we have the ability to drive the coils with single step, double step, interleaved, and micro stepping. This is, I think, in double step mode right here, right now. And let's take a look at the code I'm using to drive all that. So this is in CircuitPython here. I'm importing the Adafruit motor library and getting servo and stepper from there. And I'm also using motor kit, which is just high-level commands that makes it a little easier to deal with all of your motors. So the kit I'm setting up on I2C, which is the board I2C of this Metro, I believe it's a Metro RP2040 I have running. And then the motor throttle, I initially set that to none, which means it can spin freely. Set up my PWMs for my 2 servos and set those angles initially to 90, which is sort of the halfway point on those servos. And then I'm making myself a little convenience function here for sweeping this stepper. But the stepper is driven also with motor kit. So kit stepper 2, which is this pair of blocks over on the right side. Stepper 1 is in use by my DC motor right now. I'm just giving it this easy command, kit stepper, 1 step, and then a direction and a style. And then I can flip that direction to go forward or backward, and how many steps I want to take. So then I sweep that forward 215 steps, backward 215 steps, and then we start the whole series here of just moving these forward and backward to do a little display. You can, of course, use something like async I/O to get more motors acting at the same time. Mine are just kind of one after another sequentially in this case. So very simple to drive, and you can see it's also very simple to set these up because we have these nice screw terminals. So plug in your wires, tighten them down, and you're good to go. This is the battery pack. Let me go to a full view of the down cam here. This is the little, let me see, how's my focus look on that? Pretty good, there we go. So here is my little, let me take this, take that CD off of there, or PlayStation game off of there. So here's a little battery pack, 4 AA's that I'm using, and that you can see works quite well with a little barrel jack adapter, or you can cut these and go straight in. So let's see, what else? I'll go back to the product photos of those there. Switch over here. I'm gonna get rid of that one for a moment. And let me see if there are any questions over in our chats. Yes, Peter Huseman asked, will this be compatible with Metro boards as well? For sure. Control of solenoids. That's, I don't think we have a beefy enough driver on here. I believe we might have a different shield that is more appropriate for solenoids. And that has to do with the sort of backlash you get of the collapsing electromagnetic field and it driving. So we need more protection than I think these have to do solenoids and electromagnets, things that like grab a big pulse of current suddenly. Anyone correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe there are other boards that are better for that. let's see. Yeah, DK asked, will this work with a Metro RP2350? I believe so. Let me, in fact, let me turn this off for a second, and we'll carefully deconstruct things here. I'll leave the motors. Let me unplug the servos. Oh, I'll show you this as I do it. Sorry. So I'm going to unplug my two servos from there. I'll leave these, this little motor, that's what this little spindle CD or DVD spindle motor looks like. And then this one is such a light little, this little automotive motor that it's actually, I've got it on some stiff solid core wire there held up. It's my battery pack, which I'll unplug there. And now I can pull the motor shield off of there, and you can see that's on a Metro RP2040, but that is that typical Uno pinout, so that'll work, or 10 mille or Due Millanova. So this will work on that, as well as Grand Central and Due. What was the large? Mega, Arduino Mega. We'll work on those. Those have the same pinout, just covers kind of half the board. So you can see it from the underside there. And just for fun, I actually had handy one of the, I think this is a V1 motor shield, probably from the year 2012 or something like that. So you can see it has been refined and progressed. I think you used to solder in all of pretty much everything. It was a full kit, including those are the driver chips, and I have those socketed. So it's been refined, but it's the same idea, same kind of setup for your terminal blocks for power, driving the motors, servo in the corner. So not a ton has changed. It's just gotten smaller and sleeker, and a couple little improvements here and there, and of course the nicer silk screen that we have now. So let's see, any other questions? No, looks good. Great. Okay, so I think we'll finish it up there. Again, there's your QR code if you want to go check it out. It's product 1438. And we've got, let's have a look, about 91 in stock. Okay, so go grab a couple before the show is over. The price will go back up. So this is $9.98 right now. We do have a whole ton of different motors, solenoids, DC motors, stepper motors, and hobby servos that you can plug into this and use. Okay, I think we'll wrap it up right there. That right there is my product pick of the week this week. It is the Motor Stepper Servo Driver V3. No, it is the Motor Stepper Servo Shield V3 for Arduino, Metro, and other similarly shaped boards. For Adafruit Industries, I'm John Park. This has been JP's product pick of the week, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.